Well, the romance of moving to France ended about 3 days after I got here. We had just 1 week before my wife started her new job and two of my kids started school, so the first few days were a blur of paperwork, errands, and getting everything set up before I lost my translator. Visiting a country is one thing. You've got all the time to enjoy the sights and soak it all in. But moving? That's a different story. Suddenly there's a million things to do. Maybe I was a little naive, or maybe I just didn't stop to think it all through, but either way, it's a lot. Still, it's not all bad. I mean, just look at the things I get to see every day. You don't find that back in Vancouver, Washington. And honestly, I'm happy to be pushed out of my comfort zone. I'm growing, I'm learning, and in a way, I'm even glad to be this busy. So, in my passport, there's a visa, and on that visa, there is a paper explaining what I'm supposed to do when I get here. And I did that. I had to fill out some information like who's hosting me and my phone number, email, all that. And I had to pay 200 euros in taxes. And then once I was done, they said they'll send an email or send me a call. And it's been about a week. We haven't heard anything, so we were curious when we might hear from them. And then we looked it up and found out some people wait 6 months or even longer to hear back from them. And I was kind of hoping that the government would set me up with French classes because they do. Once they determine my level, which is about A2. So I think I'll have to find French classes on my own in the meantime. But keep that in mind, the French bureaucracy being long is a real thing. So, yeah. But I'm at a cafe right now, so it's okay. So along with my two oldest being thrown into French school, where they're only going to be speaking French, by the way, my youngest is going to start going to a nanny's place from 8 to 5, and the government will help pay for that, so that's awesome. And be more free time for me to find a job maybe, or do something. So yeah, the job hunt is real, and I'm discovering that you really need to speak French to find a job. So right now, my priority is trying to get into French classes. So it's the first day of school with Inaya. How are you feeling?
Good.
You excited for school?
Yeah.
First day. Wow. Haven't gone to school before. And it's gonna be in French. Everyone's gonna be French, huh?
But I don't know how to speak French.
It's gonna be okay, big birdie. Now it's time to take the kids to school for their first day. They hate it. This is going to be a very difficult adjustment. How do you think Renae's doing right now?
I think she's fine. She's just gonna follow whatever they do. And the teacher was really, really nice. So, I think she'll be fine.
Excited to see how it went for them. When they get back, we'll do a debrief interview. See how it went. So what did you do today? What was like your day? Like in the morning, then what did you do?
In the morning, I got ready for school, and then when I got to school, we got to pick our seats, and we sat down. I sat down next to my friend because I started making the front when we left. We were still standing outside. I said bonjour, and then I smiled at her, she smiled back, and then we started holding hands and becoming friends.
Oh wow, that was fast. Did you play with anyone today?
Yeah. When the teacher was trying to sing a song, I was next to my friend.
The kids have surprised me with how well they're handling French school. I know there'll be harder days ahead, but for now, I'm proud of them. On the practical side, we got a new phone plan and it's $20 a month. I was paying $170 back in the US, so I'll take that as a win. So I just got my haircut done. What you think? It was actually it was a big moment for me because I went by myself. I wanted my wife to come. I was like, please come with me. It's too crazy. And she's like, no, you can do it. And I was like, oh, shoot. All right, let's do it. Let's go. So I went to this shop in town, walked in, sat down, didn't really know what was going on, pretty nervous. No one really said anything to me, and I was ready to bust out my parlez-vous anglais line. Anyways, my turn came up, the guy pointed at me, and I was like, parlez-vous anglais? He's like, no. I was like, okay, great. So I whipped out the picture of what I wanted my haircut to look like, and I said, comme ça. And he's like, oh, okay. And that was it. And then he cut my hair. I had the translator app ready to go, but he was pretty good. He knew a couple words, and he was very friendly. I paid and left, but that was a good success story, you know. So we just left the bank, and cheese. We opened up a bank account for me. It was actually really easy. We just needed my passport, my host's, a letter from my host saying I'm there, and then
and her ID.
Her ID.
Like
a bill.
Yeah, like a
electricity bill, like a bill to show that she actually owns it, I guess. And then I needed my social security number, bank statements, and that was it. Then he hooked me up. I got an account opened up, and I guess here you have to pay monthly for a debit card, and they don't do credit cards here, right?
Correct.
So yeah, it's monthly. It's like $10 for there's different cards you can choose from. I did the basic one. It's like 10 euros a month. But yeah, so now I'm ready to get funds received to me, ready to get a job, and nice. A lot easier than I thought, because I've heard people say it was really difficult to get a bank account, but everyone's situation is different. So yeah, I'm just happy that is knocked off the list. I'll tell you something that I realized though. Coming over here, I thought I was gonna be able to eat anything I wanted and lose weight. That ain't the case. I started eating too much bread. I think too many baguettes, because a brother be getting a little tubby lately. So I need to nip that in the bud. I was drinking too many beers. I was like, well, this is France. I won't gain weight, but that ain't the case. So keep that in mind, people. You still gotta be careful what you eat. Now it's my turn to figure things out. With the kids in school or at the nannies, I've caught myself thinking, what the heck am I doing here? But hey, I know it's only been about 2 weeks. Eventually that rush of everything new will fade into routine, but still, I can't just sit alone in my thoughts. I need to stay busy. As I said, learning French is the top priority. Finding work is next. If I could give anyone advice about moving abroad, it would be learn the language before you go. And yeah, I saw that advice 100 times before I left, but I just clearly did not work hard enough. I don't know if you could tell, but I've always leaned into the it'll all work out mindset. And sure, it will, but some things could definitely work out a lot faster if you prepare. Speaking of work, I got an appointment coming up with France Travail. They're a government agency that helps people find jobs. They know my situation, barely any French, and will hopefully match me with something that fits my interests and background. Honestly though, at this point, I'd probably take just about anything to get the ball rolling, so we'll see how that goes. Check out this cool little manga shop I found. It's pretty sweet. I keep seeing YouTube videos about people coming to France and they're in the tech field to do a startup, or they have a specialty, or they're coming for school. But what if you didn't have those things? What if you didn't go to college? And what if you don't have a specialty? What if you're a factory worker and you decided, you know what? We only get one life. Let's move to France because you have the opportunity to. And that's ultimately what this channel's all about. How would you really survive if you didn't have those things? And me personally, I didn't go to college, and I worked mainly in the maintenance field. I worked in at the railroad for 4 years, so that's a very niche market. And of course, I could apply for the railroad here once I learned French. But do I really want to be a railroad worker my whole life? I don't know. And I was also at work for the city where I used to live. And yeah, that could apply for here too. But I'm also looking at this move as a reset of sorts. It's giving me the opportunity to take a pause and focus on what do I really want to do with my life. This is might be my chance to maybe go back to school to learn a skill that I didn't have the opportunity to, or pursue something I really love. Even with the chaos, I'm excited. Excited to explore Bordeaux, to meet new people, and to see how this next chapter plays out. I can't wait to look back a year from now and see how far we've come. Also, seems even the birds eat baguettes here. Oui, oui.